welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. This is the week that was. I'm trying out something new for the channel and I would love to know what you all think of this. I am going to be doing a kind of weekly update. In fact, I'm pretty much stealing this idea from a better booktuber, Mike from Mike's Book Reviews, who does exactly that, a weekly update. But I'm calling it the week that was. And basically I'm going to be doing something similar to what Mike does every week, which is he talks to his subscribers and his viewers, which I think is a really fun and cool thing that he does, and it's something I'd like to try to emulate. I've realized, I'm a slow learner, guys, but I have realized that there is a whole social aspect to BookTube that is something I've come to enjoy through doing things like collaborations and tags and other things. And so I have decided that I would like to make my channel a little bit more social in a way, to have something that is a little less formal where we can chat about books together. So I am hoping that this will be successful, and I'd love to know what you think about this, in fact. So let's see how it goes, and let me know in the comments if this is something you would be interested in watching. Me talking about what I'm reading, talking about what I intend to read, and other fantasy-related stuff every week. So it's something that I kind of look forward to because I really do love interacting with folks in the comments. That is something I think I'm kind of known for at this point, is responding to comments, because they're important to me. They're a big part of what I consider to be the lifeblood of the channel. So the interactions are very important. And I thought maybe I should try something like this, a weekly video where we just chat, a little bit more informal. But there are certain reasons why I want to do it this way as well. I know that a lot of my friends on BookTube have things like Discord and these sorts of other venues for getting together. And I actually would love to do something like having a Discord, but honestly, I just don't have time. It's not that I'm scared of well, I'm a little scared, but it's not that I'm scared of doing something like a Discord. It would be cool. I actually, believe it or not, I'm kind of adventurous and I like to try new things, but I just don't have time. I mean, I have work and family and tennis and writing and all this other stuff that just my life is full of right now, and I love doing the channel, but it's about as much as I can manage at this point. So I get so much from it as it is, but I just want to add a little social dimension to what I'm doing here. So anyway, let me know what you think about this idea, this whole concept. So let's get going with my very first episode of the week that was. So I'm going to talk about what I did for the channel during the past week. And I a week ago had a double tag. I don't even know if that's a thing. Did I invent something on BookTube? I don't. Probably somebody's done it before. But I did 2 tags at once. And it was the Finally Fall tag and the End of the Year tag. And I combined them into one. And I even snuck in a poem, a Shakespeare poem, Sonnet 73, which is my favorite fall poem. I had a great time actually reading people's comments in response to my reading of that poem. So if that is something you would like me to do more of, this might be a nice venue for it. Who knows? So if you like hearing the poems and talking about them and that sort of thing, let me know. I mean, it is something that I personally enjoy a lot. The videos that I do that are dedicated to poems don't usually do very well in terms of views. There are some people I know who really do like them, but I don't get a ton of views when I do just poetry dedicated videos. So that doesn't mean I will stop doing them. I honestly love poetry, and fantasy related poetry is appropriate, I think, for the channel. But it is something that I wish more people were interested in, frankly. I think that poetry, if you're interested in writing, if you're interested in words on the page and that sort of thing, you can learn a lot about writing and reading from poems, because it's a more intense form of engaging with words. So anyway, but let me know if you would like me to occasionally drop a poem into this the week that was, which I'm planning, by the way, to do. If I can be organized about this, I'll try to do it every Saturday. Have this video out every Saturday. So yeah, I did those 2 tags, and they were a lot of fun. I was being social and all that. So I also put out a video about Fantasy Prose. This was a response to Ursula K. Le Guin's very famous essay From Elfland to Poughkeepsie. It is a foundational essay in many ways for the modern fantasy genre. And I think that I saw some really great engagement, some great responses to that video as well in the comments. It is a topic that is near and dear to me, the idea of fantasy prose being it is unique. It is different from other genres because of the task of world building, of convincing your reader that the reader is in another world. And you do it through the prose. That is one way you can do it. So Ursula Le Guin's essay is just fantastic. And I think even though it's from 1973, nearly 50 years old, it is still very relevant. I did suggest some tweaks, perhaps, to update it for modern times. But I think that her fundamental points still remain. And she has some really great insights in terms of what fantasy is and what fantasy can do. So I also had a video on the monstrous other. This was one of my collaborations with A.P. Canavan from A Critical Dragon. And this particular archetype video on the monstrous other appeared on my channel. It is it's numbered 14 in the series, even though in reality we have 13 episodes. There's a whole story behind that, which you can see. If you watch the beginning of that video, you'll see the story behind the miscalculation, why we have 14 episodes with only 13 videos. And so I had a great time talking about the monstrous other as an archetype. This series has been fantastic. Whether there's 13 or 14 episodes, I've had a great time talking about these archetypes with AP. And he, again, with some of the best parts of the video would be the feedback we're getting from people who always come up with these fantastic examples of other examples of the archetypes that we're discussing, and shedding new insights onto the archetype in question, because there are just so many different versions and iterations and subversions and inversions of every one of these archetypes, and our genre is so rich with them. So it's something that I really enjoy talking about and having fun at the same time. So I hope it's sort of a fun and educational series that we're doing. But I'm having a blast with it, and that is something that AP and I plan to continue. Well, see, another thing that I took part in was a Malazan collaboration. In fact, it was a pretty darn good week for Malazan collaborations for me. I was in a Malazan collaboration over on Jimmy's channel, the Fantasy Network. It was a lot of fun. Alan from the Library of Alexandria was there, and AP was there, and myself, and we were talking with Jimmy about Midnight Tides, book 5 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. It was a fantastic discussion, and one really cool thing was we had both Steven Erikson and Ian Esselmont in the chat. So that was really cool. I had never seen that before. I could be wrong, but it might be the first time on BookTube that the 2 Malazan authors have been in the same chat. So that was really, really fun. And everybody in the chat was contributing, and it was, I think, a great time. We had a great discussion on Midnight Tides and the Malazan Book of the Fallen in general. So great time. I recommend checking out the video on Jimmy's channel. Another Malazan collaboration I had was with AP, and we were talking about The God Is Not Willing. This is Steven Erikson's latest, and it is, in my opinion, an absolutely sublime book. It is just fantastic. It is everything that I love about Malazan, and it's its own unique story as well. I think people who've read it would agree that it's slightly different in style from the Malazan Book of the Fallen and from the Carcanis trilogy, and certainly different from Bocaline and Corbel Broach. It is just something, it's its own thing, but it's also still very much Malazan. Wonderful start to the Witness trilogy, The God Is Not Willing. It is out now here in the United States, finally. So people here are catching up with all our friends over in Europe who got to read it way back in August. But just a fantastic book. And AP and I had a grand time talking about these spoilers, because we had done earlier, more than a week ago, we had done a non-spoiler video on The God Is Not Willing that appeared on my channel. And that was also really a fun discussion. I had a good time with that, but we had the spoiler talk with AP and myself, and that was on A Critical Dragon. Great time with that. And then we had another spoiler chat, because this is a special occasion. It's the release of The God Is Not Willing here in the United States, and we decided let's just go for it. And we had Steven Erikson on A Critical Dragon with AP and myself talking about The God Is Not Willing. So another spoiler-filled discussion, and wow, that was a really, it's a really amazing thing when you get to talk to your favorite author. It's just so... it's so generous of Steven Erikson to talk with people about his books, and he is just a wonderful, warm, and kind person to talk to as well. But the insights that you gain from I listen to these discussions after I've been in them, and I'm like, wow, even while I was in the discussion, I didn't get the whole thing. So he dropped a lot of really fascinating insights into The God Is Not Willing and the Malazan world. So it was a really great discussion. It appeared on A Critical Dragon. Highly recommend you check it out. Of course, if you haven't yet read The God Is Not Willing, it is filled with spoilers, so be warned. So probably you want to read it first. But yeah, that if you want to hear some really fantastic insights on that book, then I would recommend that video highly. So yeah, so that was great. Some great Malazan collaborations that I really, really enjoyed. Had a fantastic time. So what am I doing now? Well, I'm up to a few things. I have a few pans on the stove. Is that the expression? I'm pretty sure I messed that up. But anyway, you know what I mean. I have a few things going on here, and one of them is that I am reading currently A Shadow in Summer. This is book 1 of the Long Price Quartet by Daniel Abraham. And you can see here that this is actually an omnibus edition, so I have books 1 and 2 in here, and I'm actually more than halfway done with the first book. And so this is exciting for me. This is a series, a quartet, that I have been looking forward to very much. I've heard it talked about a lot by some of my fellow booktubers who have very high opinions of it. And now that I'm more than halfway through, I can say that I do admire a lot about Daniel Abraham's writing. There's a lot to admire. I will be doing a review myself of the first book in the Long Price Quartet of A Shadow in Summer. That should be appearing next week on the channel. And I also am excited to announce that I will be in another collaboration, and this is one about the Long Price Quartet. So it's kind of in a way replacing the group that I was with when we were reading all of John Gwyn's books in the Banished Lands, and also his latest, The Shadow of the Gods. So I had been in a wonderful war band when we were talking about all of John Gwyn's books, and now I'm in a new group here talking about Daniel Abraham's Long Price Quartet, and some familiar faces in the group. I'll be reading this along with Sarah from Sarah Reads, and Nico from Nico's Book Reviews. And I don't know Nico yet. I haven't been in a collaboration with him, but I'm looking forward to that. Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and Andrew's a great fella, and I'm looking forward to being in my first collaboration with him as well. And Alan from the Library of Alexandria is going to be joining us as a kind of, Alan's the guest of honor in this, I guess, because he is sort of the prophet of the Long Price Quartet. He is one of the individuals who got me to read it, frankly, because he's been very, very upbeat, very positive about this series. I think it's one of his favorites. So that was one reason why I was very excited to try it out. And I do have a lot of positives to say. I will say, too, though, that A Shadow in Summer was a bit of a slow burn for me. It's taken me a while to really ease myself into this new world. And now that I'm in, though, I'm starting to really admire a lot about the world building and what Abraham has done here. I like his writing a lot. But I will say that it has been a little bit slow in terms of me feeling invested in the story and in the characters so far. But let's see, when I get to the end, how I feel. I have a feeling that the investment has started to increase here. So I have a feeling that I'm going to have very positive things to say about the book. So another one that I'm reading, and I don't usually read more than one book at a time for the channel. I usually focus on one book. I'm kind of not good at multitasking, so I tend to try to do one book at a time. But because I'm doing the collaboration, I needed to get going on A Shadow in Summer. And so I put down, for the moment, Toll the Hounds by Steven Erikson. This is the next book. This is book 8 in the Malazan Book of the Fallen. And this, of course, is part of my ongoing series that I've been doing with A.P. Canavan from A Critical Dragon. We have been doing our Malazan Book of the Fallen read, and that is going just fantastic. I had been hoping that we would finish it this year. However, it is November now, mid-November, and I think we're probably in a bit of trouble in terms of finishing it for the year, but that's okay. There's zero pressure. We are doing this for fun. So I have a feeling we're going to finish early next year with the entire series, the 10-book series, the Malazan Book of the Fallen, and also with the 6-book series, Novels of the Malazan Empire by Ian Esselmont. Because we're doing both series, and it has been just, I've said it many times on the channel before, but it is like one of the most wonderful literary journeys I've ever been on. This Malazan thing is just incredible, and I have AP to thank for that, even though he is my nemesis. I have him to thank because he's really helped me appreciate these books a lot, and I'm sure anybody who's watched any of our collaborative videos would agree that he's a pretty smart guy. So, but yeah, no, we've had a great time, and I'm a little bit actually sad thinking ahead that wow, we're actually going to finish this thing, because this is book 8 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, Toll the Hounds, and then we have only 2 books left after that, and we only have 2 books left now in Novels of the Malazan Empire. So we have 4 books left out of 16. So yeah, we're 3/4 of the way, I guess, or so. But I'm a little sad thinking that this amazing collaboration is going to have an end. But we're planning to do lots of other things. If you haven't heard me yet, I think we're going to be doing a lot of Robin Hobb reading, Realm of the Elderlings next year. That is on the horizon. Plus some David Gemmell and other writers that we've been talking about reading together. So we're going to continue our collaboration because it's been just a blast. It has been so meaningful and fun, and hopefully even a little educational at times. But yeah, so yeah, I'm very, very enthusiastic about this and just having a great time with it, and I hope that you guys who are following along with us are enjoying it as well. So what else am I doing? Well, another thing that I want to try out is I don't usually jump on the bandwagon, and particularly when it comes to the screen, but here I am on BookTube now, and I went along with the masses to go see Dune, and I'm glad I did. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time discussing it, and reading the book again after 30 years or so was wonderful as well. But yeah, so you might know where this is going. I'm going to watch Wheel of Time, and I'm actually going to watch it like in a fairly current way. I'm not going to wait till it's all out on DVDs and go rent it at the library. I'm gonna stream it. I'm catching up with the 21st century here, folks. I'm gonna watch Wheel of Time. And I think maybe AP and I are going to talk about the show. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how we like it. I have not yet watched. It's out today. I think some people have already seen the 3 episodes that are out. So I am looking forward to checking it out. I would call myself a fan of Wheel of Time. Not a diehard fan, but a fan of Wheel of Time. I have spoken on the channel a few times about the monumental achievement that is The Wheel of Time. I think it's a fantastic series in many, many ways. I do have my little criticisms of it here and there. I made a video about that in the early days of the channel, and I've spoken about it a little bit since, but I just think it's so much fun that so many people in our community are really charged about this show, and I hope that everybody who's excited about it will be happy with what they see. AP and I are likely to, be honest in our assessments, so it probably, I would predict that it won't be a complete gush fest, but I'm sure there's a lot that we'll have to say, both positive and critical, but we'll see. I don't know. I have absolutely no judgment whatsoever. I'll admit that I was initially kind of lukewarm about the whole thing, just because I tend to be a bit wary of adaptations. But I think from what I've been hearing, the buzz, I've been sort of, a little bit outside of all of it, but I've been sort of hearing it, all over BookTube, and it sounds like it might be good. Let's see how it is. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And I have some more exciting collaborations on the horizon. I'm not going to talk about them yet because they're not actually scheduled, but I'm pretty sure there will be some good ones coming up that I'm actually excited about. And that for me is one of the best things that I can do on BookTube is the collaborations. I really love talking with people, learning from them, having great discussions about the books that we love. So that's it for me. Let me know, please, in the comments what you think of the week that was, and if this is something that you would actually tune in for, or if you think it's a terrible idea. Either way, I would love to hear from you guys, and I hope that you're all having a great time reading whatever it is you're reading, and I look forward to hearing from you all. Until next time.